While patrolling in the southern part of Samara Game Reserve, field guide 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏𝗏 stumbles across a tragic scene. A cheetah, fatally wounded by its intended prey. The 𝗥𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗁𝗀 razor-sharp hooves tore into the cheetah's belly. It brings to an end the story of a remarkable animal. A young cheetah moves cautiously through the grasslands of the northwest province in South Africa. She has recently left her mother's home range and moves east. Not long ago, she was a young, carefree cub playing with her 3 male siblings. Although it seemed like random play, this romping was necessary for her survival in later life. Strengthening muscles, coordination and speed are all skills that are learnt during play. Cheetahs are not natural tree climbers, but she also seemed determined to hone these skills. Their mother often left the cubs alone while out hunting. She would be gone for many hours, leaving them alone and vulnerable. Female cheetah with cubs need to hunt almost every day. She is already fast, but at 5 months, she will be able to outrun most other adult carnivores. After the cubs left their mother, they stayed together for protection and to perfect their hunting skills. A year later, the female cub left her siblings. Males from the same litter often stay together in a coalition to hunt. But females are solitary, and so she moved off by herself. Instinct drives her east, away from man and the destruction that humans leave in their wake. She has recently fed, and now the hunger that drives her forward has nothing to do with feeding. She will try and find a male, but only long enough to mate. Hunting dogs. They smell her scent. Starved and goaded by sadistic hunters, the dogs hunger for blood. captured and confused. Her hind legs injured. The sounds are unfamiliar. She has become a commodity, an item for human entertainment. Nothing in her memory bank has prepared her for this. The 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗁𝗁𝗀𝗀 Cheetah Center gets an urgent call. A woman calls reporting a wild cheetah that has been badly mauled and is being kept in captivity.
Your name and your surname, please.
Staff at the center immediately spring into action and gather the necessary equipment they will need. Specialist veterinary surgeon Dr. 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗀𝗀 is called, as they are not sure what condition she'll be in. The center was getting a lot of calls reporting injured and captured cheetah. Farmers consider cheetah vermin and openly hunt and kill many that roam wild in these farm areas. The cheetah population is rapidly declining, and there is a real danger that they could disappear forever. The 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗁𝗀𝗀 Cheetah Center has received international recognition for the work being done to help save the cheetah from extinction. Situated in the northwest province of South Africa, the center was founded in 1971 by 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗁𝗀𝗀. They initiated a captive breeding scheme and to date have successfully bred more than 800 cubs. The center's founder, 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗁𝗀𝗀, has a great compassion for cheetah and believes that mankind and this magnificent cat are naturally and emotionally connected.
It's an animal that has been with man for so many centuries. I mean, it's millions of years that the cheetah has been with us, and I think it will be a great, great pity if it doesn't survive for another million years.
The center houses over 100 cheetahs in separate enclosures. These cats are used for breeding, research, education and tourism, which helps pay for the mammoth logistics of looking after these endangered animals. To combat illegal hunting and captivity of these magnificent cats, the 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗁𝗀𝗀 Cheetah Center offered a cash reward for information leading to the rescue of a caged or injured animal. It worked, and the calls came streaming in. It was one such call from a woman who wanted the reward for a new kitchen that prompted the center to dispatch the rescue team. They discover a weak and badly mauled animal, thrown in a cage and left for dead. They sedate and load her into the vehicle. The team return with the damaged animal. It's not only her body that is broken, but her spirit too. Her chances of survival are slim. Once in the operating theatre, Dr. 𝗥𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 wastes no time in getting to work. Ita is attempting to repair her damaged tendons, a procedure never before undertaken on a wild animal. He spends 5 hours trying to save her life.
Good flashing. Yeah.
Now the only thing left to do is wait to see if she'll make it through the night. It's touch and go. She survives the night, and after days of round-the-clock attention, she slowly regains her strength. Her wounds begin to heal. She is moved to a larger area, but the long-term prognosis is not good. This wild-born cat will probably be confined to an enclosure for the rest of her life. The operation was only the beginning. The real test is if she can get up and learn to walk again. Caged in a tiny pen, the torture she has suffered has done serious damage to her spirit. She's a fighter. She keeps trying. She's up. And walking. Anne van Dyck and her team are ecstatic. They've never witnessed a cheetah recover from such poor condition and terrible wounds. They name her Sibella, meaning a female prophet. Over the next few weeks, Sibella goes from strength to strength, and even her trust in man improves. She seems to sense that they are here to help her and not a threat. The team impose a hands-off policy, keeping all human contact to a minimum. The idea is to rehabilitate her as close to a wild cheetah as possible. She's taught to work for her food, and slowly her legs gain strength. Sibella becomes restless, not content for a life behind bars. They move her into a larger area where she can move around, stretch her legs. Her recovery has been remarkable. Sibella is truly a fighter. They feel she should be given a chance to live in the wild again. Now they just need to find somewhere willing to have her. Then an inquiry from an unexpected place. A place that had not seen a cheetah in over 130 years. Forming the country's vast, timeless heartland, the semi-arid Karoo region of South Africa was known by early explorers for its singular beauty, harsh environment, and extraordinary wildlife. Early inhabitants, the Khoi San, called the Great Karoo the land of great thirst. In the middle of these ancient plains, surrounded by an amphitheater of purple mountains, lies 𝗤𝗏𝗏 Game Reserve, land of serenity. Most of the last 100 years, this semi-desert land has been stripped of its wildlife, replaced by sheep, goats, and agriculture. This was until naturalist couple Mark and Sarah Tompkins arrived and discovered the true magic of the area. They were entranced by tales of the vast herds of game which once roamed this wilderness. Stories of the wild species long since destroyed. The explorers, the characters of yesteryear, and the haunting beauty of the semi-desert land. Overwhelmed and humbled by the magnificence of it all, Mark and Sarah went away totally and completely smitten by the Great Karoo. They vowed to return and achieve their dream, amassing enough land to have a self-sustaining ecosystem that would carry game. The herds of antelope that used to inhabit this area, and the predators, to keep the balance that helps maintain these fragile ecosystems. They bought 11 old livestock farms, tore down the fences, and returned the land to its wild state. Now, 70,000 acres later, great herds once again roam the Great Karoo, and 𝗤𝗏𝗏 Game Reserve was born. The next step was to bring back the Great Karoo's most iconic predator, the cheetah. It's decided. Sibella's new home will be Samara, and very quickly the wheels are put in motion. Transporting cheetah across provincial boundaries is restricted, so the necessary permissions and permits need to be obtained. And then a stroke of luck.
Yes,
The
thank you
𝗥𝗲𝗹𝘁𝗲𝗀,
very much.
an aptly named animal flying service, volunteered to transport Sibella to Samara. They have flown many wildlife mercy missions across Africa. The miracle cheetah leaves for a new home and a new life. Joining Sibella are 2 wild males, which have been brought in from South Africa's Limpopo province. The dream is that Sibella and one of the males will mate. Sarah and the Samara team wait anxiously. They know it's a gamble and understand Sibella's chances of making it in the wild are slim. For Sarah, it's the culmination of a dream that started over a decade ago.
It's actually one of the most exciting experiences of my life.
Sibella and the 2 males are to be released into 2 separate camps, where they'll stay for a minimum of 3 months in order to acclimatize. The males will be released into an enclosure next to Sibella. It's important they get used to each other's smell and presence. Male cheetahs have been known to kill unfamiliar cheetah whose smell they do not recognize. Sibella's big moment has arrived. A new home and a new beginning. She's hesitant. The unfamiliar voices and surroundings are intimidating. Sarah and the 𝗤𝗲𝗯𝗀 team wait anxiously. They understand the risk. Sarah decides to move everybody back to give her some space. Finally, she's out and one step closer to being a wild cheetah once more. In the adjacent enclosure, the males wait their turn. Recently captured, freedom is not something they have forgotten. Immediately they catch the scent of a female close by. Just a fence separating them. It's important that the cheetahs not only become accustomed with the sounds and smells of their new home, but also they need to familiarize themselves with each other. Simply thrown together without this habituation period could end in disaster. A strict hands-off policy is maintained. The cats must not become used to humans. After spending a little more than 3 months in the camps, the cheetah are ready to be set free. Sibella is released first. It's important that she lays claim and marks her territory before the males are allowed out. Tentatively, Sibella leaves the enclosure, and suddenly, over a year after being hunted down by man and dogs, she is once again free. Sibella becomes the first wild cheetah to set foot in the Great Karoo for over 130 years. Sibella has been fitted with a radio collar so that the team can keep track of her. The collar is light and does not affect her natural behavior in any way. The trackers use a radio telemetry to locate her, but the range is limited and the signal can be affected by distance and landscape. The terrain at 𝗤𝗲𝗯𝗀 is vast and hugely varied, meaning the trackers often have to resort to old-fashioned techniques. It's important they keep track of her, as they are not sure if she'll be able to fend for herself. There's also the risk of her escaping and making her way onto neighboring farms. Evidence shows that cheetah roamed the Great Karoo for hundreds of years. They shared this space with the last of the Stone Age people and the oldest tribe on Earth, the Khoisan, who roamed here in 𝗤𝗲𝗯𝗀's craggy hills until the 18th century. In a shelter found at 𝗤𝗲𝗯𝗀, the only known rock painting of a cheetah, dating back thousands of years, are evidence of how they shared this ancient land. Towards the end of the 18th century, settlers inhabited the land, erected barbed-wire fences, and turned it into farmlands, chasing both Khoisan and cheetah further north. Now, only the cheetah has returned. At first, Sibella stays close to the camp, getting accustomed to her new home and inhabitants. They also need to get used to her. She heads across the plains, towards the river and valley, with dense green protective foliage. Her acute sense of smell picks up a familiar scent. Hartebeest. Instinct kicks in. She edges towards the smell, hunger driving her forward. Vervet monkeys and the hartebeest are gone. She walks for most of the day, marking and checking for scent left by other cheetah. She comes across the perimeter fence and walks next to it. Her boundaries are governed by scent, not fences. Sibella climbs up Samara's high mountains towards the plateau grasslands above. Once on top, she discovers a whole new world. There's an abundance of game and an animal she's never encountered before, eland. They are still far away. They are large, too big for a lone cheetah. They're also alert, and they're off before she can get within striking range. Sibella spends the following days trying to hunt, but her skills are rusty, and her meals, consisting mostly of scavenged morsels, are few and far between. she is hungry and getting weaker. She will need to catch something soon. Cheetahs generally need to hunt every 2 to 3 days. Sibella needs to conserve energy. Warthog. She waits, letting the unsuspecting pigs wander closer. They sense her presence. After her first warthog kill, Sibella grew from strength to strength and becomes a proficient hunter. She is fast, agile and strong and is adapted to the Karoo terrain superbly, often using the thickets rather than the plains to hunt. Her favorite prey item is kudu, but she easily caught other prey like ostrich and doka. She could now be classified as a wild cheetah. Sibella settles into life at 𝗤𝗲𝗯𝗀, and the guides and trackers get to know her well. Despite her traumatic experience at the hands of man, she seems to enjoy their company and tolerates their presence. Rowan Bernardi, a field guide at 𝗤𝗲𝗯𝗀, develops a love for Sibella, and while on patrol, would follow as she traversed her territory. Despite spending his entire life in the bush, he had never come across a cheetah before. He was captivated and found any excuse to spend time watching this magnificent cat.
I had never seen a cheetah before. I just fall in love with this cat, and I need to look out for her.
He got to know her favorite resting spots, her movement patterns, and where she liked to hunt. Though Rowan followed as closely as he could, keeping up with the fastest mammal is near impossible. He knew when to hang back so as not to scare the prey when she was hunting. She wasn't too worried by his constant presence as he observed her everyday movements. Rowan had never been this close to a predator like the cheetah. He was fascinated by her behavior. Even intimate moments like where, and more importantly what Sibella had defecated, gave Rowan rare insight to where she had been and what she'd eaten. He was amazed at her indifference to large and dangerous animals, animals that Rowan knew to be aggressive and had to avoid at all cost. She was acutely aware of his presence. Should Rowan fall behind, she would cast a curious glance over her shoulder, almost as if she was observing his behavior. Then Sibella disappears. She often would not be seen for days, hiding in a crevice or even in a cave. But this is different. A month has gone without a sighting. She is nowhere to be found. Rowan and the Samara team search everywhere. Her radio collar is dead. They fear the worst. They are concerned that she has either left the area or been killed by one of the male cheetah. 1 month turns into 3, but no sign of Sibella. They finally come to terms with the fact that she is gone.
I couldn't believe she was gone.
One morning, Rowan is out on patrol. He sees a movement in the thicket. It's Sibella. She's alive. But something is wrong. She's not moving, just watching him closely. Rowan moves closer. Sibella has achieved what no other cheetah has done in the area for over 130 years. Motherhood.
Carolot's coming. Yeah, I've located a cat just below Eagle's Rock. Yes, he's fine and healthy.
Sibella turned out to be a proud and resourceful mother. Although ever careful, she never seemed to forget her human guardians and would proudly display each new litter. Rowan is as proud as Sibella and often just sits and watches them romp around. Few cheetahs in the wild survive longer than 8 years, but Sibella was now 12. Over the years, she had become world-renowned and press from all over the world came to see her. Newspapers, magazines, radio and television shows followed the progress of the miracle cheetah and reported on each new litter of cubs as they were born. Despite all the attention, there's still a hands-off policy. She is a wild cheetah, and it's important for this to be preserved. She seems to enjoy the attention, and often when a group of tourists come looking for her, she'll allow herself to be seen. She's still managing to hunt, but not as efficiently as before. She moves with difficulty. Traces of her old injury still apparent. Sarah and the Samara team debate whether or not to leave food out for her to supplement her diet. On the one hand, she's a wild cheetah who should be left alone to let nature take its course. On the other, she's become a world-famous cheetah with tourists from all over the world coming to see her. She's an ambassador for cheetah conservation and had captured hearts and minds across the globe. Then they discover something incredible. Chili, one of her cubs, now a young adult fending for herself, was actually leaving some of her kill for Sibella to feed on. At first, the rangers thought it was merely a coincidence, but when it happened more than once, they realized Sibella's cub Chili was looking out for her mother. Female cheetah are solitary animals, and communal family behavior in adults was unheard of. This just confirmed that the Sibella dynasty was a truly remarkable one. It's a warm day in early September. Rowan's out looking for Sibella. They have not seen her for a few days. And he wants to check if she's hunted and eaten. He goes to all her favorite places. And finally picks up her tracks towards the south. He knows that's her favorite hunting place, the flat plains scattered with thorn bush. The tracks get fresher, and he knows she's close. Then, walking towards an acacia, he spots her.
Yeah, Carola's coming. I've located the cat. She's dead.
She lived and died like a wild cheetah. The miracle cheetah is dead. Her legacy lives on. Sibella's last litter of 2 cubs remained at Samara until her death. The male, Pepper, was eventually sent to another reserve. With each new litter, Samara and the Endangered Wildlife Trust worked together to manage the diversity of genes by swapping cheetah with other reserves. Chili, Sibella's last-born female, has taken over the reins and is the new Sultaness of Samara. She patrols the plains like her mother did before her and ensures the royal bloodline continues. The legacy lives on. There are only 7,100 cheetahs alive on our planet, making it the most endangered big cat in Africa. Sibella was the first wild cheetah back in the Great Karoo in over 130 years. Her descendants are currently on 15 different reserves and national parks across South Africa. At the time of her death, the Endangered Wildlife Trust confirmed that she was mother to 9, grandmother to 10, and great-grandmother to 18 cheetahs still alive across South Africa. This makes her the single biggest contributor to the wild cheetah population in South Africa.